It just never gets old.
I love it. Like, we just proved it by the scratch out of the time and a new time written up under.
Yes.
Thank you.
There's
Thank
your chaos.
Thank you. Okay, well, let's do intros real quick, and then we will get to the meat and potatoes of the show, as they say. Tiff, tell everybody all about yourself.
Hello, everybody. I am Tiffany, Tiara's Lifestyle, and all the interwebs. I am one half of the writing duo Des Laurie. We have 12 books out, I think, now. By all means, go check them out. Please leave a review. We love those. And I have a personal book coming out next Friday, which is both terrifying and exciting at the same time. Yeah, I stream on Thursdays or every other Thursday, every other Saturday, with Saturday shorts and PJs and scribbles.
And me. Hi, welcome to my here we do once every 3 months writer's room with these lovely co-hosts every Friday with this other lovely lady, Laura Nettles, romance prompts, and select guest co-hosts each week. Stay tuned because we don't plan them too far in advance. And karaoke, second Saturday of the month with Margaret Pinard. AuthorTubers React at the end of the month on Mia the Vixen of Fictions, and trying to do some blogs occasionally when I'm not trying to do what I actually do, which is write sometimes. So that's me. Let me pass it to Morgan Lee.
Hello, everyone. My name is Morgan Lee. I have a YouTube channel where I stream occasionally and post videos occasionally. I am, of course, part of the Writer's Room and also part of the co-host for the Self-Publishing Tips and Tricks podcast, which is on Shannon S.T. Houston's channel. So check out that. We had an episode come out on the 15th with Inka York. Is that one? Yes, I believe it was Inka York's on the 15th. So check that out. Laura. Oh, wait, Laura, I think you're still muted.
I'm still muted because of Laura. I'm Laura Nettles. I write horror, adult, middle grade, and also have contemporary romances out under the pen name Samantha R. Silverstone. The first 2 are out. The third is up for pre-order. So, yeah. I'm here.
Nice. There is also a spinoff show on Sundays on Esther's channel. Does she flip back and forth with Des, or they stay on Esther's?
I think it stays on Esther.
So Esther's channel, one Sunday a month. Subscribe to find out when, and don't miss it. So hello to all the folks that are here. Hello, welcome. Good to see you. I did want to say to Eva, sorry about your mom. Sad to see that. Send you some love and good energy.
Wait a minute, what happened?
I started. Let's see. If this month isn't my month of balance, my mom is in the hospital, not okay, but going to, as of the information now, not to bring us all down, but I can't not say something. Totally get it.
Yeah.
And lots of love and support. Hello to some others that came in. Christian, Ken Cable, hello, friend. Richard, what in tarnation? Alicia, hey. Anita, good to see you, friend. Self-Pub with Andy, how are you? Good to see you. RC, hey. Okay, so, Writer's Room, what do we do here?
Well.
We
randomly chat about people's work and our own works, and then we try to help people with their works.
Yes. So send us your stuff and ask us a question. Like Laura sent us this piece today that she's going to read a little bit for all of you, and asked us if it was query ready. So I guess that's really our question, right, of the day. Laura, do you have anything else you want to ask before Tiffany rips it to shreds? She's the Kevin Cowell of the group.
So this is draft 6 of Seeds of Doubt. So hopefully the characterizations are more solid now. So if you have any notes on characterizations and anything like that,
okay,
help. So I'm hoping this chapter is query ready.
Okay. So that's the question we'll answer by the end. Dun, dun, dun. But first, Laura is going to read a selection so you all know what we're talking about. Laura, are you ready?
Yes.
I'm going to make it big. Boom.
Oh, I was going to share the screen so people can read.
Let's do that too. There you are.
Okie dokie.
I'm going to mute
So, I'm going to read the first 2 pages, which is not the entire chapter. Chapter 1. Jimmy chewed his tongue as he concentrated on the outline of the vampire. His black-colored pencil was the perfect shade for the cape. Warm light from the window in his friend Peter's room made the spot great for making comics, but being with his friend made the spot perfect. Peter, Chloe, and Maria were all playing a zombie video game on the TV in the corner. The screams of the undead were slightly absorbed by all the sport banners and odd football jerseys hung up on the walls. Bang! Jimmy jumped. That hadn't come from the game, but outside. He pressed his freckled face against the window that was baking in the August sun. There, down Nightmare Lane, was a large moving van. Someone's moving in next to my house, he called back to his friends. Into the Gargoyle Mansion? Did that old ghostly man die and I never noticed? Asked Maria. She was wearing all black, despite it being summer. The only thing she did to cool herself off was to pull back some of her long brown hair in a back clip. She looked up from the game. Should have asked for a tour while no one lived in that beautifully creepy house. No, across the street, not next door, Jimmy explained. That's a normal house, said Peter, not even looking away from the glowing screen. Whoever's moving there is probably normal. Like usual, Peter was wearing a sport jersey and cap. If Jimmy thought really hard, he thought he remembered they were a football team. Or maybe it was basketball. I don't know, said Maria. I think Jimmy and his family were the last normalers to move onto this street. The last 2 people were all kinds of weird, even for me. I swear the man with the well in the front yard isn't quite human. Reminds me of a fish. The image of the dead-eyed Mr. Wilson, who normally wore a dark brown trench coat no matter the weather, flashed in Jimmy's mind. The man had long, sharp teeth. Jimmy shuddered. Have you guys ever seen those glowing colored bubbles floating out of the well at night? Or heard the voices deep down in there? The 3 other friends looked at each other. Chloe, who was wearing a white dress and her dark hair in a bun except for the long bangs, spoke up. No, I haven't, but that doesn't mean you didn't. Maria cried out as her character was killed by a zombie. She put down her controller, then slid next to Jimmy at the window. She squished her face to the hot glass. Jimmy wondered if she would get makeup on it. Seems weird, she declared, still against the glass. What? Asked Jimmy, looking down the street again. The back of the moving van was open now open. There was so much green. As the movers got to work, the green shook. Leaves. Those are plants. It's a whole van of weeds. Maria scoffed. Not all plants are weeds, Jimmy. Some are cool, like the Venus flytrap and pitcher plants. They're carnivorous, eat bugs and small animals. Jimmy shuddered. Of course you like the creepy ones. I win, called out Peter a moment later. He and Chloe joined Jimmy and Maria at the window. All 4 of their noses pressed against the glass, Peter's wide junior varsity football shoulders taking up the most room. A second later, the person who must be the new neighbor came into view. She was old and slightly stooped, big red hair and large red rubber boots. They matched the front door that always looked like it was painted in fresh, wet blood. Her yellow dress was long and baggy, sleeves going all the way down to her gloved hands. She moved like her joints hurt. Her body wasn't used to being upright and alive. Either way, Jimmy felt the hair on the back of his neck rise. Do you think she's human? Jimmy asked. I loved it.
We may have Tiff off screen for a little while because she has a life situation unfolding at the moment. So she will return soon, friends. Wow, loved it. Okay, Morgan, top of line. What were your thoughts, feels about the passage? What did you think? Is this the first time you'd heard it?
Yes, this is the first time I've read it.
Oh,
So yeah, I loved it a lot. I have some notes. So one of the things that I loved the most was the characterization of each of the 4 friends, because there was like a lot of little pieces that told me hints about like their personalities and who they were as characters, and they were all different. Like Chloe, like later in the chapter, she's like, "Oh, let's go say hi," and it's like, "Girl, no,
Oh,
we don't want to go say hi."
there's always one.
And then like Maria and her like love of the creepy, and
Yes.
even like the choice of the backclip hair. So just like small choices like that was really nice for characterizing them. And then Jimmy as well, like with his comics and how nervous he was throughout the whole chapter of like this woman. Another thing that I loved, it's later in the chapter, but when they see the new neighbor, Miss Sundu, I loved the descriptions of her and her dialogue with the kids and Jimmy as well. It left like this creepy, eerie feeling, like, what is this woman? Who is this woman? What is she going to do? And it made me want to continue and read on to see what was going to happen. What else did I say? Yeah, and I think that those were my main takeaways from this chapter. So I really liked it.
Yeah, I loved it as well. I was trying to figure out with Laura backstage when, because I had read this, I think back in 2021, like fall time. And I loved the story. So some of the changes from that story to this story that I loved, or updates, were the character names. So for each of the characters, the names had adjusted and changed and just become a little more modern, which I think felt more fresh, made the story feel more fresh. So I thought that was a great change or adjustment. The other thing that I asked you about was whether the kids were together in the first chapter the last time, and I think you said no, but I think that's great and was a good change because, again, in a query, the first chapter or your first 10 pages are your most important, and I think you introduce that they're going to be kind of a group on this journey together really well by starting the story off with all of them in that kind of even though they're not doing anything, action state, of hanging out, right, and seeing them in like their element. So that was fun. I also love the little Easter eggs for the future story because I do not think I'm wrong about the gargoyle is in the next story, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the second book.
Ding ding. No, it was great. I love those, and I think readers, once you publish, are going to love that about the stories if they all tie in that way, where there's like little pieces of clues for them of what was coming when they go back and reread. So that'll be great.
The last chapter of the book actually has the kid moving in.
Oh, to the house?
To the gargoyle house.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So the kids hear from the parents, like, the kid is moving in. So
that's so very that's very R.L. Stine. I love all of that. That's great. Okay, you're giving me good energy. I'm liking it. So yeah, I love that. I put most of my notes in. I'm going to pull it up and see if there's anything. One of them you changed because I heard it when you read it.
Yes, I accepted the change.
Okay, that's like a little reading thing. I did it to Morgan too on hers. It's like when I see two words that are the same in back-to-back sentences, for whatever reason, it slows me down in the read. So I'm always like, because it's a weakness of mine. I didn't have much on yours to change, though. Either one, really. We're not talking about Morgan's right now. But on Laura's, I didn't have much in the note department. But I did want to say those things that I loved. Oh, one other thing. Agreeing with Morgan about the interaction with Miss Sundu at the beginning. So I loved the dialogue between the kids and her. I remember it in the first story. Was it the mom, the son, and the sister that met Miss Sundu in the beginning?
Was the sister there?
I was trying to remember. I kind of thought maybe the sister or the mom wanted both of them to go over there, right? And like meet the new neighbor. Like they saw her through the window or something, and it was like a be cordial kind of thing.
I think it was just the mom and Jimmy.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I don't know why I was remembering the sister being there. But anyway, I liked this and how it ended that way, where she asks about it and kind of leaves the reader being like, oh, that's a weird question. That was way better. I don't know why then I thought the sister was in the previous, so scratch that. But that was something I remembered about last time. Having all the other kids to kind of build him up to like, no, maybe she is human. All of that I thought was great and a better way to introduce that and make the creepy factor all that much higher just at the end of the chapter to kind of be like, oh, and what about your little sister too? Like that's just kind of, ooh, a place of honor in my garden. What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Ew. So yeah, anyway, I loved that detail. And I agree with Morgan. I think there was lots of like little points in each section that you were talking about the characters where you did little things that kind of hinted at who and what they were.
Yeah.
And especially their attitudes through their dialogue of like barbing back and forth the way friends do, teasing one another, is natural, I think. And it, as a reader, it reads as really authentic. So, and I think kids will read it the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my feels. Let's see. I did the echo. Let me go cheat and look at my notes.
Yeah, I fixed the echo and the words that spelled other words. I was like, dang it.
Oh, yes. Yes. No, that's good. I figured you were writing fast. And everything else I think was dialogue. And that one thing about the human line, just that I thought it would be more punchy. But everything else, I think, were all positive. Oh, and then of course Chloe being a sucker, because let's be honest, she was. I just was like, there is one in every group, isn't there? I just, every time she'd talk, I'd be like, is no one gonna be like, no, I don't think that's good, actually.
Yeah, let's have your garden party. Yeah, we'll bring drinks. Like,
no, I don't think so. I don't see that happening. Yeah, Chloe was the one who, I don't know, I was giving her a little side eye. But yeah, if you were asking me if I think it's query ready, I would definitely say yes. Like, I think you're ready to put it out there. I think this is the perfect place to start. You know what I mean? It's a perfect place for the story to start, to introduce us to the group of friends. You already kind of set up the area, and I noticed you dropped in the, is it church house? No, schoolhouse. Church house, right? What is the 13th building?
There's a church with a graveyard at the end.
That's it. But that's in the story, right? And the graveyard scene's still there?
Yeah.
Or is it not? Okay, then, so because that's important, like you packed a lot of early info there in the beginning. So, and I love that. Love all of that. All of that energy. Oh, Merry Christmas, Tiff.
I did have one question. Is his name Peter, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Does he play JV football?
Yes.
At 12?
I'm pretty sure that's. I kept looking it up.
It was like
there's like Pee-wee and then JV, and like he's a little big for his age, and it does go up to 12, so there's crossover.
Okay.
Morgan in that sport, I'm like, I didn't even catch that. Go on.
Because like JV, I'm thinking like
no, I caught it.
10th grade, and then varsity like 11th and 12th grade. So like when you say JV, I'm like that's like to me is high school.
It sounds high school.
Yeah.
Maybe 8th grade. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got a lot of cousins that play lots of
sports. Me too. It's more 9 to 12th grade JV and varsity. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, didn't know.
Okay, so the thing that I went over is, okay, junior Pee-wee is for certain weights between 9 and 12. 12 if you're a light kid. Junior varsity is 10 to 13. 13 if you're a light kid. And then there's varsity, junior, bantam, and then bantam.
I don't even know what that is.
Wow.
That's according to the Pop Warner Little Scholars sites. So if you know
at school, I would just say he plays on like the 7th grade team or the 8th grade team. Yeah. But like that's just me in middle West America. I don't know.
Right.
Because that's what they call it here.
He's supposed to be 12, so
yeah, like he's just,
or just he's in one of the leagues around the
like
city.
A local league, like
local league or something like that.
Okay,
yeah. Oh.
Whoa, Eva.
Eva's high school boyfriend was the star.
Yeah, all 4 years. He's awful. Oh.
As a person, I'm guessing not as a football player.
Yeah, as a human, or like in other ways. I guess there are other ways. I guess I could. Never mind. It's not that kind of show. Okay, Tiff. Did we mention? Did you get to hear anything we mentioned? Was there
I
anything?
did. I was in the middle of a costume change, as you can see, as well as dealing with my father. I agree with everything. I thought it was really good. I thought the characterization of the kids were good. I wasn't as sure of the ages, I think, as everybody else was. I maybe thought they were older until you said he was 12. So, I mean, younger until you said they were 12. So, so that was interesting. I don't know exactly how you would like characterize that to make people know exactly their ages, unless you like talked about grades or something like that.
Right.
But that's pretty much my only thing.
What grades are 12-year-olds in normally?
Sixth,
I was thinking 7th.
6th or 7th. Okay,
Yeah, I was 11 and 6.
I was in 6th.
Yeah. So yeah, those are my only things. I did like Chloe.
Chloe, you liked her, but you were also like, "There's always one."
And yeah, like the characterization, like the description.
Oh, here, a mother.
I was 9 in the 4th grade.
Morgan was smart.
Not really. I think I was younger than my class though. I turned 10 at the end of the year in May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think it does depend on where your birthday is.
Yeah.
Because see, our birthday would be at the beginning of
I was older, so Tiffany too. Yeah.
Would it still be a semester in junior high or in grade school?
No.
Calendar school year. I don't know exactly what else it would be called.
I'm trying to think what else. Agree with them. Dialogue was strong. Descriptions were strong. I thought your first page was great, which is your most important. I don't think I had any notes there at all. But that's usually the page you go over and over and over a million times. So it's usually your cleanest. So yeah, I would be impressed. I can't wait for the right person to find it. Do you know who you're targeting?
Agent-wise, or
like, is there anybody in particular you're looking at, or that's like a middle grade horror person that?
I have a list. I need to. So I'm still working on the second half of this draft. So once I finish it, I'll see who's actually open at the time to queries. But yeah.
Well, if
there are a couple that do middle grade horror specifically.
Yeah. Well, I was even going to say, since Lizelle, she's Canadian, and didn't hers does middle grade, and wasn't she working on a middle grade that would be horror? Because that could be one to see.
She has YA horror.
Was it YA?
Lindsay does middle grade horror.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I was thinking Lizelle was saying in her videos that one of her stories might be a middle grade. Maybe I misheard.
It might be.
Genre was.
I can't remember.
It's been a while.
Hi, Adrian.
I thought it was a troll for a minute.
I know. Same. Before I read the name, I was like, "Who is this?"
You are daddy. That's funny. Michelle is a great tool. She's mentioned in lives and things to reach out and ask her about specific agents. Oh yeah, that's true. She'd be a good one.
Yeah.
But I wish you all the best. It's scary. I mean, obviously I did it and it was terrible. So
like I queried draft 5 and I queried 11 or so agents and I got one request. It was a partial request that turned into a full request and then a rejection. Yeah. So
that's okay. It's a full.
Yeah. So this draft is incorporating her feedback. I did get a analysis done by Alyssa Matesic. of the first half of the book. So I'm incorporating some of her stuff.
Good.
And I had 2 more beta readers of draft 5 after the rejections. So I'm incorporating their stuff. So, yeah, I also was I read The Glass Witch and I reread The Stitchers. So a lot of these stories have one subplot. So either it's the pageantry subplot or the track and field subplot.
Yep.
So I am adding that subplot to this story right now, which is a comic drawing competition held by the library.
Oh, that's a good one.
So yeah, there's an instance where his comic that he's drawing gets confiscated. So now it's going to be more, that was my ticket to win type of emotion behind it instead of just an in passing mention. So yeah, I'm trying to beef it up a bit and get that subplot going and make it stay relevant to the A plot.
Okay, you got this.
And then also flesh out the characters.
How many words are you at?
This draft is at 27K.
And did you get feedback from that from an agent on length that they were wanting a little longer? Was that one of the things? Okay. What's the target that they gave you?
I think theirs was 40K.
Holy moly.
So I'm shooting more for 35. But
yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's good. That's doable. 40K for a middle grade? That feels long. It feels thick.
I thought that was normal.
Oh, okay.
The Goosebumps are 25K.
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking they were a little shorter.
Oh.
But yeah, like I can't remember how long Lindsay said The Glass Witch was, but it was in the 30s, I think.
Oh.
Okay.
I think she said 36 or something.
Yeah, Morgan, you could churn those out like nothing.
If only I can condense my plot.
Same with Tiffany. That's my problem, is giving myself a shorter runway.
Yeah.
Well, I think, let's see. I mean, yeah, okay. What about your query? Who are you planning to bounce that around with? Because I'll throw my name out if you want to have people.
Anybody who wants to help with my query letter.
Send it.
Yeah, I think the biggest turn, like I got feedback from agents saying that the query letter was solid, but the first pages let them down.
Okay.
So I think the letter just needs to mostly be updated with the new synopsis of what went down, like what's going down in the story, the little hook. But I also am going to need to redo the 1 and 2 page synopsises.
Yeah, sure.
So,
well, it's not like you're writing another series and another pen name or anything. So you got time.
Plus my vampire romance as well.
Sweet Mother Mary.
I'm almost done with chapter 32 on that one.
Speaking of pen names, look who else has jumped into the pen name game.
Yay!
Welcome, the water's warm.
My first thought was, did you pee in it?
Yes, that's me. That's why I swam over to Tiff.
Oh no!
Are you eating popcorn? You're so on brand.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I was eating Cheez-Its.
Oh, close enough. How's your foot? You okay?
No.
Oh no.
Love the short and sweet. No, actually, I'm not.
I thought I was better yesterday, and today I don't know if I just stayed in bed longer or what happened, but that was also part of the conversation with my father, is to go get some type of wrap or something for me to put around my foot. And if that doesn't help, then we might be taking a trip to urgent care either today or tomorrow.
Oh.
Because it doesn't hurt. It just feels weird whenever I put it down.
Oh,
well, I am forever gonna never forget September 15th as the day Tiffany bit ass stepping off her front porch
I wasn't even off my front porch. It's stupid. We have the longest, biggest step in the history of the world coming out of my garage.
Never forget. That's
I'd
so
have been fine coming off of my front porch.
poor thing. You poor thing. Oh look, hello. Hi. Poor
Right
thing.
now, that's also why I switched spaces, is because I can have my foot elevated while we're sitting here. Never forget.
Never forget.
Never forget. You should do some merch.
I am happy to keep everybody entertained as always.
I hope it doesn't result in like crutches. That will make me feel bad.
I don't think it will. Like, if anything, I think it's more like I bruised the bone or I did something to it crazy, but I don't know.
A bone bruise. Is there anything worse? Oh heavens. Well, Laura, I feel like we didn't give you as much deep feedback because you're kind of ready. Or you're ready. It sounds like you have a lot of work to do still. But your first chapter is, slapping, as the kids say.
Is that what they say?
Is that what they say?
And see, all I could think of, I was like, yeah, I agree with
Barbecue
you. We need to
plate.
work on the dialogue.
Yeah.
If that's what we're using, we need to work on the dialogue.
Thinking of barbecue, no? Okay. I thought it was slapping. It's slapped. There you go.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Agree.
Thanks, Eva.
We'll say we read it when, Eva.
Yep.
You're like, we were the first wave.
Bless. What else is everybody working on? I mean, we don't have to stay live the whole day. We can be like, well, we'll cut early. Problem solved. See you all next month. We're that good. Tell your friends. There is a form now.
Oh yeah, I should
We
be
We
like
do have a
that,
form.
so you can.
We not only have a timer, we have a form.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a form of chaos.
We do.
You're too legit.
Morgan, do you want to share said form?
I will.
Boom. The form does form-like things, which takes your information and directs you to the right person to help thee. Look at there is a form.
And we promise we'll even look at it.
We will check it. And by we, I mean not me.
Yeah, we really mean Morgan will check it.
Yeah.
But Morgan will assign one of us to interact with you and get you booked to come on and join us. I need to get in the group. Yes, come play. It's fun. It's chaos. We're so good we can finish in a half hour.
Sophisticated chaos is what we are.
Friends, tell your friends. So yeah, check out the
You're not
form.
sophisticated chaos.
Sophisticated.
Tiffany, you poor thing.
It is right here. I could show you my foot.
I'm gonna feel so bad if it's like fractured or something now. So I'll be like, I was making so much fun of you, but it's really hurt.
In all fairness, I could actually see that being a conversation. I'm not going to put that out there, but I could see it being something crazy because that's just how my bones work. But I don't think it's that bad. That's why I'm debating the urgent care thing, is because the last time I did something like this, it was with my tendons in my other ankle. And I paid a whole emergency room bill for them to give me an air cast and be like, you'll be okay, just take some pain meds. And I really don't want to do that yet again for something that and that one hurt way worse than this one does.
What's an air cast?
It looks like a U. And it has like bubbly things on the sides, and you like slide your foot into it, and then it has Velcro that wraps around, and it's supposed to stabilize your leg while it heals.
So it's like a splint.
Kind of, yeah. But the bubbly things are supposed to, I guess, be air or something like that.
Nice.
So yeah.
Message pinned. Okay.
Yeah, see,
And YouTube.
because Eva said when I broke my butt, the moment of impact was very, very painful, but the aftermath was not as painful as my prior injury. I never even had that head checked out. So I don't know.
Man, be careful.
It's not. I know it's not broken because I've been there, done that a bunch of times. So I know, therefore, I wouldn't even be able to put weight on it, and I've been able to do that for like forever.
I love that she went like, I know, therefore I am.
Well, because
I'm glad you're okay. I just
this leg I've
to
broken 3 different places.
Nia's catching up. Do the kiddos say slapping Barrett?
that was a bad moment a few minutes ago. Yeah. So yes, they do. Everybody knows it. All right. Well, we finished early because again, we're just that good. So you're welcome.
Or is Laura just that good?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably more of it. That's probably most of
We
it.
didn't have much else to offer because it was great.
No. It was just lots of thumbs up. Way to go. Thank you. True. All right. Well,
Does Laura, do you have anything else we could help you with?
Or plug anything? Yeah, that's true. We do also do relationships. Like if you're dating someone, you want some like advice on the ads.
Well, my only significant other is Roy.
You're good at Tinder. Okay, I can try to help you there. I just go with treats.
I took him to the groomers yesterday to get a bath and get his teeth done, and the groomer picked him up and was like, he's gained a little weight, hasn't he? I was like, dang it, yes, he has.
Rude. Poor
All the treats.
Poor guy. Rude. How do you remember that? Once a month I'd be listening.
I know, he's like,
I know. I'd be like, you pick up how many dogs a month and mine's fat now? Really?
It's like, dang it.
Body positivity is what we want in our groomers, sir. I'll have you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I am on book 4 right now of the romances.
Oof.
Nice.
But I'm still in chapter 1. So, and that let's do Crimson Strings.
What's that look for?
That's the one that we read the chapter from, Tiffany.
That's the chapter 2.
I would say it's very.
I did a dramatic reading of chapter 2, actually.
Yes, you did. Backstage.
You did. I mean, you can do it live. I'm not monetized, so you can. I can't promise Morgan and I won't turn all different shades of red while Tiffany reads it dramatically.
I will cease to exist. Okay, let me. We can go over chapter 1, the beginning of chapter 1, and let me know.
I am down as long as Tiffany will dramatically read it.
This one doesn't need dramatics.
I mean, will I need to turn off my camera so people can't see me?
No, not for chapter 1.
Not for chapter 1.
That's like chapter 2 and 6, I think.
That are spicy.
Okay, I am formatting a Google Doc.
Oh, that works if you send me a Google Doc.
Because
then I don't know which all I'm looking at.
It's like, Tiffany, why don't you do it? Why don't you do the spicy read? Sorry, French.
I can read it.
Yes, Richard, there is a Christmas tree behind me. There is always a Christmas tree behind me. As long as I'm in my father's house, there will always be a Christmas tree behind me.
What are you, the Grinch?
Did I ever tell you guys that it was the weirdest moment? I had this idea that I was going to write this story called Christmas Hell, where a guy gets sucked into his Christmas village, and the people there try to kill him because they are like, you never let us celebrate any other holiday. And then I promise you, I came out, and you guys can't see it, but there's a hallway right here, and you'd be able to see the doorway to the room that my father has his Christmas village in, and I walked past it and had to come back because all I saw was my father's legs sticking out of that room. And I was like, did he get sucked in? What happened?
I love you could have found him dead that morning. You're like, I'm gonna have breakfast first.
No, I came back to make sure he was okay. And then
like, okay, just check.
Yeah, and then I disappeared.
Okay, open and ready. Oh
Okay.
wow.
It's 7 pages. Like, how much am I reading?
I can read just the first scene.
Yeah.
Unless you want to read the first scene, Tiff.
When does the first scene end?
You'll know it's natural.
It's long.
Oh. Yeah, I'm like, that goes to page 6.
Okay, we can just do the first 2 pages again if we want.
Okay.
Or give her chapter 2. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, wait, hold on, crap. So this is always the fun thing. My father goes to pay his cell phone bill, but my father does not have
the information he needs.
No, he doesn't have. Oh, I'm not doing that. Y'all have to ask him that while he's there. He doesn't have a smartphone. So therefore, in order for them to pull up the account, they have to send the thing to me, and then I have to authorize it on my phone for them to tell him about his account.
That's
Okay. So just the first 2 pages, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The cold night air whipped through Adrian's long black coat, the snapping of the leather the only sound he made as he traversed the shadowed streets in the vampiric Morova-Bratova territory. Dancing dark strands of his hair continually blew in front of his face, obscuring his inhuman vision slightly. Regardless, Hadrian's left hand kept a hold of the sheathed katana at his hip, right hand poised to draw at a moment's notice. It would not be worth the moment of vulnerability to tie up his hair. While not his first time in Russia, he'd never been this far outside of Moscow. Most of the gambling dens were in the more populated areas where loan sharks, both human and supernatural, were more than willing to get his father into debt and take it out on little Hadrian when the loan fell due and Daddy Dearest was nowhere to be found. Hadrian blinked as snowflakes caught on his lashes. Caught, but did not melt. It was best to keep his body temperature low to draw less attention from those with heightened senses, but still warm enough to be able to move with swift precision. He was still a mile away from the rendezvous point. He clicked his metal tongue, piercing against the back of his teeth and fangs as the feeling of danger caused his pale, sand-colored skin to prickle. Someone was a street over. With the wind as strong as it was, he couldn't catch a whiff of their blood to identify the species. Best to avoid detection, just in case. Leaping to the rooftop of a 2-story apartment building, Hadrian crouched behind a chimney. There, a block away, was a man in a cloak, scarf wrapped around his lower face. It wasn't enough to obscure his hidden identity, though. Wild red hair in the mauled right half of his face gave him away. Lycurgus. A werewolf his father owned money to. A lot of money. He was not one who taken the offered payment of Hadrian's mother as compensation, though, so Hadrian would let him go. To keep undetected and therefore out of the range of razor claws, Hadrian stopped the luxury of breathing, missing the slight high oxygen gave him as a born vampire. Concealed in shadow, Hadrian counted the seconds until Lycurgus was out of sight and smell. Leaping from his crouch, he descended back to the street level, continuing to the rendezvous. He cursed the snow-laden wind as the whiff of another vampire registered almost a second later. Clang! Adrian's katana caught the broadsword of his opponent, sliding it down to the right into the cobblestone road. Leaping back, he got a good look at who had found him and cursed. Drummond, his father's old associate, was glaring straight into his eyes. Good reflexes, boy, Drummond called out. You take after your mother, after all. She taught me well. Hadrian crouched, sheathing his katana once more, getting into a pure draw stance. His weapon was held near his left hip, his left leg still slid back, right hand poised to draw with explosive force, one that could end this quickly if all went well. The last thing he wanted was an extended battle to attract the attention of the Murov Barada. It could put his informant at risk, and by extension, his own mother. Too bad your father hoard. Adrian spun forward, drawing his katana, swinging it horizontally straight through Drummond's position. The older vampire bent backwards below the blade, straightening as the sword rang past, only to be caught with the swung sheath, breaking the man's elbow in his dominant hand with a sickening crack. Drummond hissed, clutching his useless arm to his side. It would take a few minutes to heal, leaving him vulnerable and unable to fight at full strength with his heavy broadsword. You'll pay for this, boy. And once your mother is found, she will too. I'll make sure of it. Anger and sorrow filled Hadrian at the words, stomach clenching. You will never touch my mother again. The idea of castrating Drummond and taking the genitals to a witch to cast an impotence curse passed through his mind. But was it worth making himself even more a target for pruning a line of born vampires? The soothing words of his mother came to mind. Only given to the rage when there is a trusted one to guard the blind spots that will form as the red takes over.
So, does anyone have any news?
Except for me butchering all the poor people's names. I'm so sorry.
I have one that's a reader thing that I don't know if it's helpful, but I would say if I were leaving you a note, I would just on page 1, and this is probably an early draft, break up the blocks of text. The first page is 3 big blocks of text, and I think as a reader, every time I see that, I can think my eyes will cross in the middle, and they don't need to. There's lots of places you could cut. Like it would not be worth the amount could be a whole separate paragraph, and you could break several of those up. So that's just a reader, like an aesthetic. Does anybody else agree with that? Does that stop anyone else when you're reading or catch anyone else
I agree.
up?
Yeah.
Okay. That's just one little note. Before we get into like the other, the so meaty portion. Okay, what else did people say here? Intense. Your prose is so good, Laura. Natural talent that improves all the time. Agree. What are we talking about? Oh, the
Tongue
whole
piercing.
tongue rings. Okay. I'm like, how did we? I was like, fistulas. I don't know what we're talking about. Okay, no longer have the whole. Okay. Okay. They're all about the holes. So
Who isn't?
Crimson Strings. Does it have any holes in it?
A big one is called I Need to Write the Ending.
That is a big old hole.
It's on chapter 32 right now.
Well, what do you want, like ideas, or were you just not procrastinating the ending, or do you need a big finish, so to speak?
So this is a trilogy, and this is book 1. Requesting spoilers. Okay, so this is between Victor and Hadrian, and I pretty much alternate 1-for-1
POV.
POV until I get to when people are unconscious, and then it's back to back other same POV. So, well, first off, chapter 1. I don't know. Like, does it read too over the top?
No, I don't think so. It's a vamp story, right?
Yeah.
So no, but right? Am I crazy about that? Aren't they always a little? I always think like Anne Rice and I don't know the ones I've read. I always think they're always kind of over the top, aren't they? Vampires. It's like you've lived forever.
I think it depends on the story, because I think it depends on if you want, like, how Anne Rice is a specific type of vampire lore, if you will, in how she writes and how she crafts her stories, and they are extremely over the top. But then there are other vampire stories where, not so much Twilight, where it's just they sparkle, but they're human people, type of conversation, but more in the middle where, yeah, they might be vampire, but it's not a battle every other page. It's not like, like there's not life or death in any situation. It's just they're a vampire, but this is also life. And so I guess it depends on where you want yourself to play. Do you want it to be more, it's kind of even keel, as like vampirism is just an added bonus to the story? Or do you want it to be where it is a huge mythos of its own? And
It's a pretty big mythos. There's even a holy war coming. So
yeah, so then you just have to figure out where your balance is between those two. Of, is it a fight every chapter? Is it something dramatic every chapter? Or is it, it's pacing? Do you like dramatic, let your reader chill, dramatic, let them chill, dramatic, chill, big, huge, dramatic, kill you type of conversation.
And yes, Christian, it's a romance. My first draft started at the meet cute, and feedback I got was, we don't really know who these characters are apart. We only know them together. So I now have the lead up to the meet cute. So the Hadrian going and fetching an ingredient to do a transformation, and Victor getting you got to go court this one person and try and romance them from his dad. So we get to see a little bit of their lives for a chapter or two, and then the meeting happens. So yeah, like we hear about Victor in chapter 1 because this whole transformation thing is so that Hadrian, the main character of chapter 1, can seduce Victor to get info out of him. So there is that lead in, but yeah, the meet cute's not till like chapter 4, 5. Yeah.
Okay.
And from a romance standpoint, again, I don't have issues with that. My meet cutes aren't always like real quick, but I do know, in the sense of, a lot of times if you think of like Romancing the Beat or something like that, they want it to be within so much percentage, so many words of the story. So depending on where you're going to fall in that, and I think we had this conversation of, is this story a romance or is this a paranormal story with romance subplots?
Yeah. Right now it's at 70K. So
okay,
that's healthy.
Is it? They're a little anemic right now. My 4 characters.
Your vampires are anemic. Well,
Because
Yeah.
I think that was our conversation too, with you trying to figure out the ending. Was it paranormal or was it a romance?
Mm-hmm.
Because romance, they had to have a happy for now type of ending, whereas paranormal, it could be maybe a cliffhanger, it could be they get separated, it could be, you know, whatever it is that you need it to be to lead into the second one.
mhm.
Right. So I'm pantsing this thing. So I have certain steps that need to be, so they're soulmates. So there's certain steps that need to be taken to complete the bond
Of course.
and then augment it. So in book 1, we do okay, we are soulmates. Here's the completion of the bond, but then we can augment it further.
Right.
So they are going to do the first augmentation in book 1, I think, and then the second augmentation in book 2, and the third one in book 3. So there are guiding posts of where I need to go, but yeah.
Is that somewhere in book 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Chris said real quick, it did seem a little bit intense start for romance for me personally, but I agree with what Tiffany said. So, for what that's worth. But I think if you would have kept reading, they would have gotten a little more romance in that later scene, right?
Yeah.
So
in chapter 1?
Well, a little bit. There's a little bit of flirtation and going to a nightclub. So
okay.
Bum chicka bow wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, what can we do for you? How do I help you? Help me.
Help you.
Help me. Help you.
I don't know. Like it needs an ending for book 1, and I need to have somebody read the whole thing and tell me, is this a romance? Is this a paranormal with a romance subplot?
Is it a happily ever after?
Yes.
Okay.
In the third book.
Okay.
Do you know where the second book starts? Like where each character needs to be at the start of the second book?
I know where the first book ends. I don't know if I'm going to do any time skip at all for book 2. No, the meet
sometimes that helps you figure out the ending if you know where they need to be in the second one.
Is that the meet cute?
No. So, okay. Chapter 1 is Hadrian getting one of Victor's baby teeth from an informant so that he can do a transformation into a human whose blood is keyed into Victor so that he will be irresistible to be a victim for Victor to stick him. So, because he needs Victor to break Hadrian's curse and initiate contact, because Hadrian is not able to physically approach Victor. So, because Victor's dad is a piece of work. So, it's this whole thing of setting it up so that Victor initiates contact, and then, of course, that chapter ends with a kidnapping.
Tiffany, this is for you.
Yeah,
it's for you. Kidnapping. Tiffany Russell is our.
Well, but it's not like they don't. I just happened to look up and I see my face on the TV. I do not look pleased. I don't think, from what I read, I mean, yeah, there's a kidnapping, but it's not like a me type of kidnapping. Like this is like a for real, we're going to torture you and drive you insane. Like I use kidnapping as a plot device. So I think this is more as a torture sequence that turns into a plot device.
They
So-
both get kidnapped. Hadrian is still a human at this point, but he transforms back into a vampire. Like the concoction wears off, so he's back to being a vampire. And so he does this whole escape artist thing and finds Victor and saves him, and they get out of there. So
I think I do agree though with A.F. Stewart.
I was gonna say the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. From what I've read, I do think it does lean more towards urban fantasy than necessarily romance to me, which is fine because then that opens up a whole plethora of how you can end it. You know, versus it having to end with a happy for now or the two together or the two, you know, doing anything. Plus, it also opens where you can go with the story because in romance, there are certain plots and romance does have to be the driving force of the story. Whereas if it's urban fantasy, you know, have a ball.
Yeah.
So Victor can see the future. He can see possible futures. And no, that's. Let me
I
go.
think that's chapter 3, isn't it?
No, maybe. Chapter 3. He takes the concoction as Victor comes into the bar, the nightclub. So he sees him, but Victor doesn't see him yet. So that is chapter 4, is the official meet cute.
That's pretty far, isn't it? Normally, if we were romance, I feel like we'd need it a little bit sooner, like 2, right? Second chapter.
You could maybe get away with it a little bit further out because of it being a 1-for-1 POV. Because you're your first chapter is introducing the first, you know, person, your second chapter is introducing the second one, and then generally
the third one is
where they would have that meet cute.
The third one, he sees Victor at the end, and then the fourth one, Victor sees him, and the whole meet cute happens.
Like with it being at the end, I do feel like that is a little far into a traditional romance.
Yeah. And then I also think you should probably just write it, like you said, and then have someone
read it.
What genre it fits into. So, so you're not trying to pigeonhole yourself into like sticking to like the formulaic like romance beats.
Yeah,
so
like
just write the story how you feel it needs to be told.
And especially if you say you already know where it needs to end. Then just write to the ending.
Yeah.
There's no assassination attempt. What? No.
Oh no.
That sounds so romantic.
It is.
Nothing says love like brain
and
matter.
A mark showing up from your ex.
Oh.
I'm like, Laura, bless.
Well,
finish.
The ex is Satan himself.
Write the story of your heart and then pass it to somebody to read and be like, what do you see?
Do I have a heart, Barrett?
Yes, you do, Laura.
A big heart.
Ask Roy.
No.
He'll be like, I hear it every night. Not over the dishwasher, but he can hear it. Okay, well, are there any other problems we can solve? We can't fix world hunger. We've tried. And so now we're just done.
I was more going to go with like world debt, but yeah.
Oh, please. I was thinking hunger was small. Yeah, I don't know what else we could fix. Climate changes. We can't do much for you, but we can work on some writing things if you fill out our form.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's it for right now.
All right, well, come back. As we told you before, we work on first drafts, second drafts, third drafts. We work on Tinder profiles. What?
So just random ideas you have.
Yeah, random ideas, Tinder profiles. We might even do some like wills and estate planning in the future. Who knows? Just stay put. We'll see. And wait, what's this? If you haven't been almost murdered, is it love? I don't know. Not in my world. Not in my book.
There was a comedian one time. I think that was part of their set. They were like, if you've never contemplated murder, you've never been in love.
Contemplated. I've almost been.
Oh yeah, almost been is to me. I'm thinking more of like sat there and thought, like fantasized about the ways I do it too. Like, oh, to push it in that dryer, close it and lock it, and turn it on high steam.
I like even there's your dark romance. There you go.
Yes, we did it. Full circle. Well, let's do some outros and we'll close this down because again, nailed it. 2 stories in one. You're welcome.
Yay.
1 for middle grade and 1 not. Also, you're welcome. Outros. Who wants to go first? Tiffany went first. So, Laura, do you want to go first this time? You just had a release yesterday.
Yes, I did. I'm Laura Nettles. Horror is buried. Tiny shivers. It is 101 drabbles, flashes, and short stories. There's also art in here, so fun times. And I write contemporary romance short stories under the pen name Samantha R. Silverstone. The first one, Heart Notes, came out last Saturday, and the second one, Memorized Heartstrings, came out yesterday. And the third one, Painted Heart, comes out next Saturday. So, yeah, it's already been edited by our lovely Morgan. It is ready to go.
Love it. I'm so proud. Way to go. Well, let us know how the querying goes. And when you get that I Got Agented video, you point people to this video and say, you want to know the people that made that first chapter happen. Tell them about Morgan's form. Morgan.
All right. Hello, my name is Morgan Lee. I really don't have anything going on my channel right now. So you should subscribe to see when I start posting stuff. Let's see. I'm working on the 3rd book of my dark fantasy trilogy. And then I'm also jumping on the romance pen name train with paranormal romance. Have a pen name picked out and everything. First book is already underway, and I have like 7 outlined. So, yay, that's it.
Love it. I'm Barrett. Laurie, you're on my channel. We get together on Friday nights to write romance prompts, me and the lovely and talented Laura Nettles. So join us for that. It's always fun. We're going to have some select guests on with us each week, and it's a chance for you to write with us and share your work and just play in the sandbox of writing. It's a lot of fun. AuthorTubers react end of the month on Nia the Vixen Fictions channel. Writer's Room next on Tiffany's on October the 20-something. And at, so this is what I said, 22nd. The time is at the time that it's at. So you'll watch for that. And then don't forget about the forum. If you want to join us, it'd be great if you did. It's a lot of fun. Second Saturday of the month with Margaret Pinard to do AuthorTuber karaoke, but sometimes Morgan comes. And I'm going to do vlogs again. That'll be fun. But other than that, I'm just going to be writing my own little romances as soon as I get over writing creepy sex scenes. Which my friend Tiffany's going to help me with. Tiffany, take it away.
First of all, love the turn.
I practiced it.
Hi guys, I'm Tiffany T.L. Rose Lifestyle. I am one half of the pen name Des Laurie. We just had a book release last Tuesday, so be sure to go check it out, Romance on the Tracks. As well as I have my own personal short story coming out this Friday, and I stream on every other Thursday and every other Saturday with PJs and Scribbles and Saturday Shorts. And on the Thursdays that I'm not there, our own lovely Miss Laura takes over for me. Just call her Laura Falula. And yeah, I think that's it. And then I'm with these lovely people. It's now Sunday. I almost said one Tuesday. One Sunday a month. So, and it will be on my channel next month. I think it's already up, so you can click the reminder button.
100%. Thank you all so much for coming. This was so much fun. We'll see you in October at Tiffany's house. Bye.